what John Lewis said at the 50th anniversary, he said, the civil rights movement without music, without song, would have been a bird without wings. What does that mean? That means that at that time, music was crucial to creating the unanimity of spirit that moved us all together. And I'm going to sing you one of the songs that Peter, Paul, and Mary sang at the March in Washington in 1963, where Martin Luther King delivered his I Have a Dream speech. It was the first time that the American public heard a song by Bob Dylan. It was, Bob Dylan was, very close to us, and we heard this song that he had written, and it was this song that catapulted him to national attention. And where was it sung? Before 250,000 people in Washington who were there with Martin Luther King. And when we sang it, something important happened. Joan Baez was there, Bob Dylan was there, but they just sang songs to the people. We sang a song that everybody could join in on. And when we did that, there was a sound and there was a togetherness and an empowerment whereby we all created the moment, creatively. 250,000 people sang it. Why? Because it was a huge hit. It was one of the first hits of consciousness in the 1960s. The first one was If I Had a Hammer, that we also did. So, I'm going to sing this to you. And then you'll have to understand, I'll give you a little more context, okay? Here we are. Mary is a tall, blonde, powerful woman who at her memorial, Gloria Steinem said, she told us as women to speak the truth. Do not get your power from trading on your sexuality. Don't do that. It demeans women. Ask for parity. Speak truth to power and truth to men. It was a very male-dominant society at the time. This is 1963. And you have to understand contextually that in Washington, D.C., if you were with a class in the 5th grade that went to Washington, the black kids couldn't go because there were no hotels. This is only 1963. We were there then. If you were a person of color, you couldn't use a water fountain unless it said for colored over, for colored only. In our own nation's capital, you couldn't use a public bathroom unless it said for colored only. Not long ago. I was 23 at the time. And in the South, in certain states, there was a lynching once every 3 days in the United States. And no repercussions. Nobody ever charged, nothing. And so many African Americans could not vote. Because it's absolutely impossible. So here's the song. We're standing there. We didn't know whether it was going to be dangerous, or it was going to be, there's going to be, there were fights, there were going to be protests. It was amazing. It was pure love. You could reach out, you could go over to anybody you didn't know and hug them, and they'd know why you were doing that. And that was talk about a seminal change. That, when the group experienced that, changed our lives. So from that point on, we never stopped that commitment. So here it is. Imagine that you're there and you're hearing Peter, Paul, and Mary sing this. Or imagine that you are Mary or Paul or myself. And I'm going to ask you to sing the chorus with me, which you will be surprised to find out you know. Bobby Dylan's amazing song. How many roads must a man walk down before they call it a man? You can sing. How many seas must a white dove sail? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps? Before she sleeps in the sand. How many times must
The answer, my friend.
How many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever back? Here's the chorus, I'll sing it to you myself. The answer, my friend,